that thing called life. Always appreciate you being here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and I cannot thank you enough for being a part of this broadcast and every broadcast we do every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Appreciate your patience this morning as we were getting one of our specials set up for you inside of these Cafe Kubal studios, and Cafe Kubal on 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, New York. And of course, you could find them on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in their drive-through location in North Syracuse, right by the airport. Really by everything. That drive-through location is by the airport. It's on Route 11, main road there. It's by Mattydale, by North Syracuse, by Liverpool, by Cicero, by the airport, like I said, by the highway, by the thruway. Really accessible, so make sure, they all are, and make sure you get out to the drive-through today. Love experiencing the drive-through. So happy that Cafe Kubal got one here, and they just celebrated their one-year anniversary there a few months back in June. So shout out to them for that. And, of course, you can go to 343 Fayette Street to their double-decker cafe that now has an expanded parking lot out in Manlius. So go and check that one out today. And whichever Cafe Kubal you go to, or if you order on cafekubal.com, that's cafe, Kubal.com, let them know that Wake Up Call sent you, because we always appreciate sending people over to support our beautiful community and support our local community. So much love to everybody out there, and many thanks. So with that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, we have a massively jam-packed show here for you today. A lot of great stuff to get into, and I got a feeling we're going to go past 11 o'clock like we normally do. So thank goodness I know the boss. So with that being said, inside of MonPawsPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', we have all of our signature segments of Fridays. We have the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. LEAD, which stands for Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver, presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Today's topic is Trying is Winning, so we'll talk about that. We'll announce our top dog of the week from Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, the premier place to have your dog watched for the day or an extended period of time, right there in East Syracuse, right off of Bridge Street. And we'll round out the show, as we always do, with another edition of Pacer Pride. Very excited to have our Marywood Pacer connection, and we have a very special conversation today with Brendan Murphy, which I'm very much excited to have, as Brendan Murphy and I are both graduates of Marywood University's Com Arts program. So we'll talk about the value of our Marywood University experience, Com Arts, the importance of it, and the value of Com Arts at Marywood University. And we'll get into some baseball talk, because I've been going baseball crazy this week, and rightly so. A lot of great conversations with Mark Lukashevitz, Joe Antonio, Papa Joe, and Brendan Murphy coming up here where sports meets life. So, with that being said, I want to thank you all for tuning in every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where sports meets that thing called life. You're here on Facebook.com, YouTube.com, and MixLR.com, all / Wake Up Call DT. So, can't thank you enough for tuning in there, as well as on WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage, and on Facebook.com / LiveNowDT. So however you're connected with the show, thank you so much for joining us here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. And I do want to make a note here, folks, and don't forget this, that next week we're going to be, I can't believe it's already next week. Next week is Hooters Week, which means we're going to be on site, on location at Hooters I Drive of Orlando, where we were last year, for the college and pro football preview week, where we'll be previewing the entire collegiate football season as well as the NFL season, and we'll be having a bunch of other conversations and having some fun. We'll be hanging out with the Hooters girls, and you can hang out with the Hooters girls and us, including my special guests, by coming out Monday, August 22nd through Friday, August 26th. Make sure you definitely come into Hooters and have lunch with us from 12 until 2. We did it at that time so that you can escape work for a little while and come have some lunch with us and have an excuse. So make sure you come out between 12 and 2 every single day. There you have an opportunity to come out and see us. So between noon and 2 p.m., we'll be doing our broadcast live on site, on location at Hooters I Drive, which you can get by going to 8801 International Drive in Orlando, Florida, and it's by everything. So it's right by Disney, it's also by SeaWorld, and of course the highway, and you can also find it by Universal Studios as well. So make sure you come out and hang out with us and have some fun with us during Hooters Week. We would love to see you out there, and we always welcome everybody with open arms. So make sure you come out and hang out with us this upcoming week for Hooters Week, and understand that we are changing the time of the show for next week from 12 to 2. So with that being said, it's time for us to jump in to the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt on 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. You never know what's going to come out of my mouth with this. That's why I'm laughing. So we're going to get into the annoying moment of the week here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. We've talked about a lot of things, and we're going to talk about some more things right now. So let's get into the annoying moment of the week here from Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. It is what happy tastes like. And remember, whatever's annoying you, whatever's bothering you this week, well, it goes down better with some Carvel DeWitt ice cream. Head out to Carvel DeWitt today and show them your love here in our community, as they've nestled themselves here as the longest standing Carvel franchise in America. Not in New York, in all of America. So big shout out to them for 60 plus years of being here in our community.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The annoying moment of the week.
I'm really honest. I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
You have to be that crazy. I guess so.
The annoying moment of the week for this week. Folks, I mean, there's different areas that we can run to here together. And so we could definitely have some fun with this annoying moment of the week. But, I would have to say that my annoying moment of the week is technology and how it's used, because it takes forever sometimes for people to get back to people, right? And, you kind of just live in this world where, I'll get back to you when I get back to you. And I like to call, right? I like the phone calls. I don't mind texting. Like, I understand that sometimes you have to text. I get that. I'm not crazy. But there's not always the response, right? The response time is lagging when you need to get something done, right? You need to set a schedule. You need to put something together. And it's not always easy to get a schedule set up and put together when you're in a situation where it's hard to hear from people and it's hard to hear back from people. So it gets frustrating and annoying. And so I would, live in that world and say that when it comes to technology, just learn how to do it. Okay, treat others how you want to be treated. That's really what it comes down to. And the brass tacks of it all is that you got to treat others the way that you want to be treated. And not everybody does that. Not everybody thinks of that, because a lot of people are selfish. And, and then there's a lot of people that aren't selfish. But I would tell you, get back in touch with someone. It's the golden rule. Talk to someone as you would want them to talk to you. Get in touch with someone as you would like them to get in touch with you, right? Make the effort, put it out there, and get it done. Because it's annoying when you're trying to set something up, And I would also say honesty. Honesty in today's world is part of the annoying moment of the week. Not that honesty is annoying, but the lack of honesty, the lack thereof, of people being honest about situations, people being honest about what they're doing with what they have, right? And I know the annoying moment, there's seriousness in this, and there's comedy in this, and there's a lot of different things that we've done with it. But I would have to say my annoying moment for this week, well, you know what? I do have something else, but I'll get to that in a moment. But it's about being honest and caring about other people's time. Really what it comes down to is just caring about other people. That's what it comes down to. Just actually physically caring about other people, right? Making the time, taking the time, and making the effort to care about people that are in your life. Because, I think sometimes people hoard people like goods. And you get all these people, right? And you got them all, but you don't realize that you can lose them, right? You can lose them. You can lose them because of life, right? People pass away and whatnot. But you could also lose them because you don't appreciate them. And You know, I've had two instances where I had two relationships that were supposed to be strong. One of them I knew was kind of weakening, or it was weak to begin with, and that one went away, and I'm cool with that. But there's another one that went away that was years and years in the making, years and years and years in the making, and, you know, more than a third of my life, and that just went away like it was nothing, just literally disappeared, like it was not even important. And, you know, people say to me, well, Dan, how do you deal with something that, like, you know, you're probably hurt and it probably affects you? I said, no. The way that I said, I let go of relationships when I realized that other people don't care. You know, I said, it's easier to let go. You're not going to spend a lot of time. I'm not going to spend a lot of time crying over people and getting mad about people that don't care. If they don't care about your feelings, they don't care about who you are, why would you cry over that? Why would you let yourself cry and get upset and frustrated over people that don't value you? The only people that should matter in your life are the people that value you. And I'm not saying you don't value strangers, but I'm saying the people that you should think about and you know, those, put it to you like this. If you call someone your loved one, right? Family, friend, spouse, whoever, girlfriend, boyfriend, your dog, your cat, your bird. You call somebody your loved one, right? You love them, they love you. If they don't treat you that way, they're not a loved one. So how do you deal with it? Well, if somebody treats you like garbage, why would you sit there and cry over that person? They have no respect for you. They have no care for you. They have no concern for you. Your life doesn't matter to them. So why would you let your life be controlled by them? That's what I would say. My other annoying moment of the week, and I know I've said this before, but the bees have gotten ridiculous, okay? I don't know what's going on with the bees. I don't know who they're mad at. I don't know what conversation or what meeting they had that I was not privy to, but the bees have decided that human beings and them are having a war. And somebody said to me, they're like, oh, well, the bees are dying, right? So, like, they're going to fight. I'm not killing them. I don't want to kill any bee. But I also don't want the bee in my grill. I don't want the bee on my house. I don't want the bee trying to get in my house. I don't want the bee. They're in the morning. This is what I hear. Dung, dung, dung. And I look outside, and on my back, like to go out to my deck, my back door, there's a bee banging its head trying to get in my house. And I'm like, really, dude? Really, bro? Like, it's like he's waking me up going, yo, I'm here. I got it. What you got? You know what I mean? And I was like, bro, get away from me. We don't play that game. We're not doing that together today. I'm not living in your world like that. Like, that's not how we are. So, you know, and yesterday we're eating dinner inside, and there's all of these tables. And I don't know if there's other bees, but there's all these tables. This bee was at our table, trying to get in the salad, trying to get in the soda, trying to get in this, trying to get in that, going to every person at the table, going to my mom, going to my friend Amy, going to my niece, going to my nephew, going to me, and just playing around. And I'm like, and I'm looking at this going like, dude, what is your deal? Like, I don't come to your hive. I don't like poke around. I don't tap at it. I don't threaten you. You know, I'm trying to enjoy my meal. And a bee will make me get up and go somewhere else, and I don't appreciate that. Right? I don't appreciate that level of disrespect. So, and the funniest thing about all this is we eat our food, we talk, we have a good time, whatever. We open the door to leave, two bees come out with us. It was like they were in there to make our lives hell, and then they're like, all right, let's go. Buzz, buzz. No, buzz. No, buzz. And it's like they're talking in their language, and what they were saying was, did you bother that family? Oh, yeah. Did you see what they did? Bro, I saw what they did. Did you see what I got that family to do? I got that family to get up. I got that family to stop eating. Bro, you done a good job today. Pound it. Zzz, zzz, my brother. Zzz, my brother. So, but I mean, it's ridiculous. And you look crazy, right? But my thing, because you're like running away and people don't necessarily see it. It's like when you walk into a spider web and nobody sees a spider web but you. You feel it. You feel it. Right? Because that strand, it feels like a hair, but you know it's not a hair, because why would a hair just be hovering outside, which is creepy and scary, and let's not go to that horror movie. But when you walk outside, I walked out of my house a few days ago, and this spider that was hairy, like, and I don't do that. I love Spider-Man, not a fan of spiders. This spider popped up, and he was like freaking out because he couldn't get up, and I'm looking at him going, you are way too big this is inappropriate. Like, you can, like, I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to let you live your life. But you've gotten way too big. And what is it with bugs trying to get in the house? Why are you trying to get in the house? You're supposed to be outside. God put you outside for a reason. You're supposed to be outside. I don't deal with these hives. I don't mess with these hives trying to get in my house. Trying to hang out in my house. Spiders in my house. I had a spider. I tried to get it. Now, I'm not going to kill a bug unless I can't get it outside. Or if I think to myself, like, this is going to take forever to get outside. I picked up a spider before and threw it outside. I did. Little spider, picked it up, threw it outside. Let you have a life, right? I freed that spider. Took him out of my house, didn't kill him. But now you got more spiders in the house and you're in my bedroom. So I knocked it down, couldn't find it. You ever do that? You knock the spider off the wall and it doesn't exist on the floor anywhere. I had a flashlight, couldn't find it at all. Go to bed, next day, see it, and it's on the other wall. I'm looking at it, I'm going, I don't know if I can get to it. Because there's a dresser there. It disappears. And then it reappears again closer to me. And I was like, I got to protect Lily. And I killed the spider, threw it out. But the thing is like, why are you in my house? What do you like about my house? You have a life outside. I let you keep your web. Okay? I took down some of the webs, but it's like, I let the spiders keep their web. I saw a web that's been, that's there. I let you live your life. Okay? Don't scare me. Don't bother me. Don't get in my world, and I won't get in yours. Be outside, away. If you're not in my harm's way, I'm not in your harm's way. We can coexist, okay? I've lived with enough crazy women to understand that even with bugs, you can coexist because they bugging. But you can coexist with these people and you can coexist with these creatures, but there's a line that you don't cross with me. You don't come in my home. This is my sanctum sanctorum. I'm Doctor Strange and I'm protecting this, okay? You don't come in here and disrupt my peace. And that's for a woman and that's for a spider. I treat it the same. You come in here. Yeah, Greg, you know it. Greg listens to the show daily. You know these bees like me. I don't know, if I got honey in my veins, that Hispanic blood. I don't know what's going on. Maybe they like salsa. I have no idea what's happening in my life. But the bees like to hang with me, They're like, what's the buzz, Dan? I'm like, the buzz is get the heck out of here, man. It's like TMZ. I feel like I got paparazzi bees trying to get in my business, and I don't appreciate that. So my world with insects, to all the insects listening, because I know you do, because I said stuff about bees in the past, and something happened immediately after, like multiple things happen, I'm going to tell the bees and the spiders and everybody this. I leave you alone. If you don't bother me, I don't bother you. I let you live your life, okay? Let me live mine. Don't bug me. Pun 1,000,000% intended. Don't bother me. Don't disrupt me. If you disrupt my peace and you're a woman or a spider or a bee or whatever, I treat it all the same. If you disrupt my peace, then you can leave my peaceful area, which is my home. When you come home, you want to relax. I don't want to be killing spiders, wake up in the morning, dung, 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 the bee knocking on my door trying to get in there, the spider trying to get in the house, freaking his body out, and then a woman is fighting with me in the house. I'm like, listen, I don't know which one of you three is worse, but y'all gotta go. Y'all gotta leave. I don't know where y'all are going, but you can't stay here. Okay? That's how I feel about it. I'm not going to poke around your hive. I'm not going to jump in your nest. And I most certainly am not going to hang around a woman that's disrupting my peace. So leave and stay gone. That's what I say. Be gone and stay gone. Get out. I don't want to eradicate bees. I don't want to eradicate spiders. And, there's good women out there that deserve to be, that appreciate good relationships. I'm all about everybody having their place. But that don't mean you got to live in my place. I learned that a long time ago. You may not understand it. You may not like it. But you have to respect that it's there. You don't have to sleep next to it. I'm not going to sleep next to a beehive. I'm not going to sleep next to a spider web. And I'm not going to sleep next to somebody who disrupts my peace. And that is the truth. I can't believe I never made this connection before. Women, spiders, I should say people, because there's men that are annoying too. I know that. So women, spiders, and bees. I ain't gonna sleep next to anything that's crazy trying to disrupt me. And I'm gonna be real about some stuff. There's some people I dated that I would have rather dealt with the spiders and the bees. But if I have my choice, they all leave me alone. Let me have my time. The ants have been pretty good. The ants have left me alone. And I'm not talking about my one aunt because she's, special. She's a special individual. But the aunts have left the house alone. And take a page from that book, Spiders and Bees, and why don't you leave the house alone, okay? If you don't have an invitation, don't come in. That's how it is. So we'll take a step aside for a fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We'll be back here. We'll be back here on the show. Yeah, man. Never connected ex-girlfriends to bees and spiders, but now I see how they truly, really all are the same. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. We'll be back right after this inside the Cafe Kubal studio. Stay with us.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, hanging out with you where sports meets life. Cafe Kubal, 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, inside of their double-decker cafe on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, and on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in North Syracuse at their drive-through location. So make sure you head out to Cafe Kubal today, let them know the Wake Up Call sent you, and fill your cup up right. With that being said, we go from the annoying moment of the week inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin'. Monpaz, fantastic place to work. Hiring on Indeed.com for their fair staff. The fair is starting in just a few days, so make sure you get out there and get in touch with Ma and Paz, and I'll post that again. They're also hiring for their brick and mortar location, which will be reopening after the fair. They've closed it for the time that they're going to be at the fair so they can get everything set up and taken down. But 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York is where you'll find their brick and mortar. And, of course, they do a ton of events. So, Ma and Pa's, great place to get connected to. 315-450-6272 to call and ask for an interview. That's 315-450-6272. So make sure you do that. Jump in from the annoying moment of the week, presented by Carvel DeWitt, to LEAD, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver. It's an acronym I created back in December of 2019 for this special opportunity every single week to dive into something that is faith-filled, and hopefully inspiring for you, positive, and to have some of those tough conversations that we have to work on and work through. Today's topic and lead, presented proudly by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Trying is winning. trying is winning. What do I mean by that? Well, sometimes we're out here trying, right? We're out here giving what we can. And we don't always think that it's enough. We don't always think that what we're doing is enough. And you ask yourself the question about, well, I tried, but how do I know that I'm winning, right? I have to win, right? I have to win every race. I have to go out there, and if I didn't win the race, then I didn't do enough. And I say to you, trying is winning. Well, Dan, what do you mean by that? Well, the whole everybody gets a trophy, am I a fan of that? No, not at all. Okay? I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when you give effort to something, when you try, you're already winning. Because you're not going to win every single time that you go out there. You're not going to get the trophy every single time that you go out there. It's not always going to happen. But when you try, what you learn in life is you are winning. Because you're giving everything that you can to something. And you're believing in yourself for something. And you're working toward you're working toward a goal, right? You're working toward something that you desire, something that you want, something that you believe in. And I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that and be very thankful for that. There is beauty in going out there and giving your best effort, because it means that what you have inside of you is growing and it's blossoming. And trying is winning to me, because even if you lose that race, even if you don't win that game, even if you don't get that promotion, even if you ask that person out and they say no, to me, what you have done is you have created for yourself the fact that you believe in you. You trust in you. And you're putting yourself in a situation where you're working to be successful. You're working to get there. You're working to grow. And you're learning. So if you go and you try to win that game and you don't win that game, or you're going and you're trying to get that yes when you ask that person out, or you're trying to get that house, whatever you're working to do, you need to understand that you may not get the first house you go after. You may not get the first yes from the first person that you ask out. You may not get all of your firsts that you're trying to get. But why is trying winning, Dan? If I don't win, then how do I win? Because sometimes, and you've heard this before, and there's a country song about it, sometimes the best prayers are the ones that are left unanswered. Sometimes the best things are unanswered prayers. And I can't thank God enough for how many times I tried to get this job or tried to get that job or tried to ask that girl to prom or to a dance, or, the first house that I looked at. I'm happy I didn't get that house because there was an exposed wire that nobody knew where it went to, and it was in the attic. And I could have moved into that house, and that house could have burned down. And I hope to God they fixed that before anybody else moved in there. I also know that there's some people that I wanted to go out with, and I look back on it now and I'm like, I didn't know anything about them. I just had a crush. I still to this day don't know anything about them. I don't know their favorite color. I don't know what makes them tick. I don't know what their pet peeves are. I don't know what the things are that they love. So I was living in a fantasy, and I looked back on some of these things and I say, okay, well, what if I had stayed with that person? What if I had married that person? What if I had stayed married to that person? What would my life look like? Now, did I try? Absolutely. I tried. And sometimes when you try, you learn that that's not the right place for you. Sometimes when you try, you realize that not everybody's going to win the game. Not everybody can get everything they ask for, because some people are asking for the same things, right? Some people are praying to God, please help Stacy to say yes. And Tim's praying that, and Jim's praying that, and Sam's praying that, and Steve's praying that, and Kyle's praying that, and Joe's praying that. Well, they're not all going to date her. That would be a horrible situation. So sometimes your prayers don't get answered the way you want them to get answered. They said God answers prayers 3 ways. Yes. Not right now. No, because I have something better planned for you. Right? God, give me a wife. Not right now, Dan. I need you to work on some other things. God, help me to get this partnership. All right, Dan, you got it. Not all right, Dan, but you work for it. But Dan, this is a good path. So yes. God, I really want this house. Dan, I got something better planned for you. Trying is winning. And I don't think that people understand that. Trying is winning. When you go out there, because a lot of people don't try. And I think you need to know that. A lot of people don't try, or they stop trying. Is it easy to ask somebody out? No. That's why a lot of people don't do it. Is it easy to start your own business? No. That's why a lot of people don't do it. Is it easy to play a sport? No. No. Is it easy to be a janitor? No. Is it easy to be a doctor? No. Is it easy to be a flight attendant? No. Is it easy to be a lawyer? No. Is it easy to be a teacher? No. Is it easy to chase your dreams? No. No. Dan, I don't like hearing no. You're saying no a lot on your show today because you need to get used to hearing no. You have to get used to hearing no. You have to get used to hearing no because you have to become numb to it. You have to get to a point in your life where no doesn't affect you anymore. And I don't mean that when somebody says no, that means yes. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you have to get to a point where you can go on to the next one. That job said no, on to the next one. That person said no when I asked them out, on to the next one. I didn't get that house, on to the next one. You got to learn how to have a short memory because the girl that said no to you when you asked her out, you don't need to think about her after that moment. She said no. There's nothing else there. That's a dead end. Move on. Don't keep it. She said no. Move on. Keep walking. Keep moving. Keep strolling. Keep rolling. Right? You don't need to worry about that because it happened and it's over. 3 months later, it doesn't matter who she's dating. She said no to you. For whatever reason, she said no. He said no. Move on. Well, that job, no, you don't go and check who got that job and look at the person who got that job and go on Facebook and go, oh man, they look ugly. They look stupid. Start making fun of them, start ripping them down because it makes you feel better because you didn't get the job. Let it go. It wasn't your job to get. It wasn't your job to get. That doesn't mean don't keep trying. But we focus so much on the dead end roads. We focus on the roads that God said, there's nothing here. I put up alarms. I put up signs. You literally, if you drive any further, you're going to go right off the cliff, but you still keep squeaking forward, looking over going, is that really a cliff or am I supposed to go over it? Some things are dead ends, but you're trying, right? You're asking people out. You're going on job interviews. You're trying to find a house, right? You're getting after it. We're not always going to know how to be perfect parents. But the parents that try, the parents that show up and try, those are the parents that matter. The parents that want to do good and try to do good and give everything they can to do good. Even on their worst day where they have no energy and they're stressed out of their mind and they're over it and it's hard and it seems impossible, they don't give up and they keep trying. Those are the parents that get thanked when that kid stands at a podium someday. The parents that gave everything they possibly could, even on the days when it was hardest to. Those are the relationships that last. The people that are friends and boyfriend and girlfriend, whether it's a friend relationship or a family relationship or a romantic relationship, the people that gave their all and didn't give up and didn't walk away and kept trying and kept working, those are the people that matter. The job that your boss appreciates you, that you prove in yourself. Maybe that boss has tough love. Maybe they have a tough exterior. But once you prove yourself, then they show you themselves. Trying is winning. Because if you don't try, you're going to have a bunch of people not want to go out with you to find your wife or husband. You're going to have to try a bunch of avenues with jobs to find your place. You might be a journeyman in the NBA and you might have to go to 7 teams until that team finally is a good fit for you. You may have to, if you go to school undeclared, you might have to try a bunch of different majors until you find the one that you love the most. But trying is winning. Because I know people who don't try and I know people who do try, and the people that try are successful. They might be frustrated, they might be upset about a portion of their life, a part of their life that's not going the way they want it to go. But they know that they love what they do for a living. They know that maybe they don't have the job they want or they just got fired, but they love their wife and they love being a parent. They might love their family and move back home, but it might be hard to find a job right now. Not everybody has a perfect life. Not everything is going right every single moment all the time. Things happen because adversity builds character. Adversity shows character. Without adversity, you have no idea who you are, and you never will, and nobody else will. Without adversity, you have no idea what your threshold is. You don't know what your might is. You don't know what your fight is. You don't know the fight that you have in you if you're never faced with something to fight for. So in Lead here today, I'm not here to tell you life is easy. I'm not here to tell you that life's a cakewalk. Some people, the first person they ask out, they get married to. Some people, the first job that they go to, they stay in for 50 years. Some people fall upon a house and they get a great price and it all works out. But not everything is perfect all the time in everybody's life. Sometimes you leave for a flight 3 hours early that's a 22-minute drive and you end up late for the flight because there's traffic. Sometimes trying, you don't feel like you're winning. But I want to tell you that when you try, you win. And you try. And I say that because the more you try, the more you get strong. The more you hear no and you become okay with it. I don't care if I ask a girl out and she says no. I move on to the next one. I don't care. Doesn't mean I don't care about her as a person. It means I don't cry over that. Do you want to go out? Okay, fine. Don't waste my time. I'm not going to waste yours. Peace. And I move on. I own my own business. So job-wise, I'm not going up to a boss going, hey, but working with a client, if a client's not the right fit, I move on to the next. I don't worry about that. I don't think about those people. I pray for them. I hope for them. But I'm not sitting here going, oh, man, 3 years ago, this guy didn't pay me. Yeah, 3 years ago, this guy didn't pay me. But I'm not working with him anymore. So why am I letting him bother me? I don't care what people think about me. Unless you love me and you genuinely care about me. And the thing is, I'm honest with myself. So if you got an issue with me, and it's something that I know I'm doing, I already have an issue with that, and I want to fix that. But I need you to wrap your head around and your heart around knowing that trying is winning. Because the more you get used to asking people out, the better you're going to be when you finally muster up the courage to ask out that person that ends up being your wife or your husband. The more you get used to hearing no and putting your best foot forward and being prepared and being polished, you're going to get that job. You're going to research better. You're going to get that house. Things are going to work out for you. But it's the people that don't, and I can't even say this word because I don't believe in the word. And whenever I go to say it, I stop myself. Q-U-I-T. I won't even say it. Q-U-I-T. I'm not even going to put the word together. You could spell it. I don't have that word in my vocabulary. I don't believe in that. Well, Dan, you've left relationships. I didn't QUIT those relationships. That relationship, the person QUIT'd on me, and I had the wherewithal to walk away and not deal with the toxicity. Well, Dan, you left a job. I didn't QUIT that job. That boss didn't respect me and didn't do what they promised me. They broke their word, and I walked away. If I walk away from something, there's a reason why I walked away. There's always a reason why I walked away. And I'm not a person to walk away unless there's a reason big enough to walk away. And if it deals with my peace, it deals with my love, my sanctity, my sanity. If it's toxic, I will walk. And I become used to it. I become used to going, I'm not going down that path. That doesn't mean people don't get second chances, sometimes third, 10, 20 chances. Some case 100 chances, but I don't do it anymore. See, I learned from giving somebody 100 chances that you don't do that with friends. You don't do that relationship. You don't give somebody 100 chances, right? You give them a chance. You might give them another chance. But you got to see improvement. And the same for me, right? If somebody gave me a chance, and I'm not improving, they have every right to walk away because I'm not improving, right? And I'm hurting them. I'm bothering their life. I'm disrupting their life. And you don't want to do that. I have so much to say about this topic, and I don't even feel like my brain is on right now because I don't need to think about it. Trying is winning. If I didn't try, I wouldn't have started my own business. If I didn't try, I wouldn't have gotten my first job with ESPN, my second job with ESPN, my third job with ESPN, my job with Fox and Scout, my job with the Yahoo affiliate, and my business. I wouldn't have the clients that I have. I wouldn't have the business partners that I have. I wouldn't have the interviews that I've had. I wouldn't have the house that I have. I wouldn't have the dog that I have. I wouldn't have the relationship with my parents that I have. I wouldn't have the friends that I have. I wouldn't have gotten out of relationships that were toxic, be it friends, family, or romantic. I try until I realize this is not and it doesn't mean that I stop trying. It means I stop trying with that person, or I stop trying with that business, or I stop trying with that situation. That's what it means. You never QUIT. You just take your try, you take your energy that you use to try, and you put it towards something else. I don't give up on people, personally or professionally. I don't continue to try in a dead end. When someone shows you their true colors, you move on. And see, that's something that we struggle with, right? So people stay because we feel guilty. Well, I don't want to leave them. I feel bad for them. Well, I don't want to leave this job because what's my boss going to do? Well, I don't want to not buy this house because I said I would. You can't do things out of guilt. Because if you do, you will wake up and not like your life. You can't do things out of guilt. You can't stay in a relationship because you feel bad for somebody. You can't go to visit somebody solely because you feel bad for somebody. I'm not saying like if someone passes away, you're not like there for them because you feel bad that they're going through that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when you hang out with somebody just because you think if I don't, then they have nobody. If I don't, then they're all by themselves. Because I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want somebody to be like, oh, I hang out with you because I feel sorry for you. I feel bad for you. That's not what I want. I want you to hang out with me because you love our time together. I want you to be with me because you love our time together, because you can't imagine your world without me. Because those are the people that I'm around, the people that I love dearly, the people that I will call up and tell them I love them because I love them. And they might say to me, Dan, why are you telling me that? I know. And I say, well, I need to tell you. I need to share it today. I want to let you know because I think, I know you deserve to know. So I want to share it. There's nothing wrong with telling people that you care, but there is something wrong where you don't try, right? If you're in a relationship and the first sign of adversity and you just don't try, that says something about your character. It says something about you, okay? There are runners. There are people that will run away from everything, good situations, bad situations, middle situations, everything. Trying is winning because think about it like this. Would you be where you are today, married to who you're married to today, dating who you're dating today, have the job you have today, live where you live today if you didn't try? If you didn't try. Every single one of us has barked up the wrong tree. Every single one of us has tried a dead end before. Every single one of us has tried at times to make the dead end have a road. We've tried to build a road at the end of that cliff to try and get it to the other side. Every single one of us has met a dead end and questioned it and stayed too long. Professionally, personally, we have. But our trying has shown us our threshold, how we respond to adversity, who we are as a person, what our pet peeves are, what we're willing to fight for, what we're not, what matters to us, what our worth is. If you didn't have a bad boss, you wouldn't know what your worth is. If you didn't have a bad relationship romantically, you wouldn't know what your worth is. If you didn't have a friend screw you over, you wouldn't know what your worth is. If you didn't have a family member let you down, you wouldn't know what your worth is. You learn what your worth is. You might think you know, but you learn what your worth is by trying. Not by winning, by trying. It's great to win. It's great to get that partnership. It's great to get that job. It's great to get that relationship. It's great to have that friend that's been around forever. It's great to have things that are beautiful, right? It's great to have that. And you say you don't, but you need to look closer at your life, because if you have nothing, if you think you have absolutely nothing, you have God and you have yourself. So you got two things right there. Even the people that have nothing got something. God never lets you walk alone. No matter how bad you think it is, God never lets you walk alone. Never lets you walk alone. Even in my worst days, I know God's here. So I want you to remember today that when you try, you've already won. Because it means that you have the courage, the strength, the desire, the fight, the want, and the love for yourself to put yourself out in this world. The people that hide at home, their legacy is nothing. Their legacy is silent. Your legacy, when you put yourself out into this world, in front of one person, 10 people, 1,000,000 people, any amount, the amount doesn't matter. If you put yourself out in this world, you're living. If you hide, you only are dying. You are only dying. Many people live. By definition, they're alive. But they're not living. We're all alive, but some of us are living. Some of us are living. And those are my triers. Those are my people that get up in the morning, no matter what happened yesterday, and they put their shoes on, and they go out into the world, and they open that door, and they say, God, whatever is out here for me, help me to remember that there's nothing that can happen to me today that you and I together can't handle. So the next time you try and you don't get the yes that you want, I want to remind you that yes is coming. That time for you is coming. Those opportunities are coming. Because when I look back on my life, my nose ended up making my road what it is today. Every bump in the road made me who I am. Every piece of adversity. Because who I am today, through all of that, I am a stronger person, a better person. I treat myself better. I think better. I feel better. And I know myself better than I ever would have known myself. I am a better person to myself today because of learning that when you get hit and you get hit and you get hit and you get hit, you got to love yourself through it. And I didn't, and now I do. So now when I get hit, it doesn't hurt as bad because I know how to love myself through it. So to my triers out there, to my doers out there, remember something today. I love you. I got your back. As long as you're putting good out in the world. I don't have the back of anybody putting bad in the world. But I love you. I got your back. And every part of your life, like your being in the winner's circle, coaches will tell you it's quick. It's quick. It happens and it's gone. It happens in an instant and it's gone. They win a championship and then they say, Dabo Sweeney talked about it. You win a national championship and you wake up the next day a few hours later and everybody's like, okay, what are they going to do next year? They put out the poll the next day. like instantaneously. They start talking the next day. They might start talking during the championship on the field. Do you think Clemson's going to win it again? So if you're only focusing on winning, then you're focusing on celebrating a minute, an hour, a day. If you're not focused on trying in the whole journey, you're not living your life. You're living moments. You're living tiny moments, but not your life. The grand scheme of things. So at the end of your life, God's going to say, you lived 5 moments. What about the countless others that I gave you? I'm not interested in winning. I'm interested in living. And if I want to win, I have to try. And trying has made me who I am today. You think opening my own business was an easy feat? You think people believed in me? You think there wasn't people out there who thought I was crazy that tried to defame me, slander me, libel me? You think this was an easy road? But guess what? Those people that hurt me back then, I don't even feel them now. And that comes from trying, hearing no, dealing with that in a positive and productive way, and loving yourself through it. I do it with God, I do it with a great support system, and I do it with myself. Above all things, God and me. God and me. I came into this world with God, I'll leave this world with God. Not everybody's going to be there, okay? My friends, ex-girlfriend, whatever, they weren't there when I was born. This job wasn't here when I was born. I came into this world with God. And I was enough. I was enough for me when I came in. So I need to be enough for me every day. And you do too. So keep trying, keep pushing. And if you are alive and you get to lay in your bed, then you won the day. You won every day. If you can lay your head on the pillow and say, I'm alive, I'm here, I did the best I could, and now I'm ready to take a nice rest. If you get to live, you try, and you can put your head on the pillow at night knowing that you did things the right way, then you win every single day of your life. There's not a day in my life that I think I'm out here losing. There's places where I could be better. There's things that I can change. And there's always room for improvement. But I don't wait for the award to win, because that's a moment. That's a moment. I live for every moment, because at the end of my life, when my hourglass is done, when that thing flips over and that sand is out, and God says it's time to come home, I don't want to say to God that I appreciated 5 of those grains of sand, 10 of those grains of sand, 1 grain of sand. I want to tell God that every grain of sand in there is a grain that made me who I am, and it meant something to me, and I'm proud of it. Live your moments, folks. Try. Do the best you can. Why do I end the show with God bless, no stress, do your best? That means try, be good to yourself, give it all you got, and love you. That's what all that means. Be your best self. Always. Okay? Next time you have a tough day, why don't you look at your hand? Why don't you look at your fingers? 5 words, 5 fingers. Be your best self always. Be your best self always. Right here. Because that's all that you need to do. And it's good enough for you and God. Who cares if it's good enough for anybody else? Be the best you can. Every day. And the right things will happen, and the right things will come along, and the right people will come along. Be okay hearing no. You're going to hear no. We will all hear no. Get used to it. It hurts you less. You move on quicker, and you go right down the line. You got this. You got this. Cubicle. If you're in the cubicle right now, you're at the gym right now, you're with the kids right now, you're with your spouse right now, you're with your significant other right now, you're jogging right now, you're at the gym, wherever you're at right now, you're on a plane, you got this. I'm talking to you directly. You got this. You got this. Don't worry about hearing no. Be proud of yourself for asking, because most people don't. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. Thank you to Chick-fil-A and Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay for all you do in this amazing community of Central and Upstate New York. Jimmer Sikowski, a trier and a doer and an amazing person every day. Love you to pieces, Jimmer, and I love you always. God bless you, and God bless Chick-fil-A, and God bless these wonderful locations with these amazing people that I've gotten to meet. Thank you to Chick-fil-A Cicero's team and Chick-fil-A Clay's team. Thank you to Jimmer Sikowski and your family. Big time shout out. We'll take a step aside for a fast break inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. We'll come back with the top dog of the week and Brendan Murphy joining us for Pace for Pride right after this. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Kampground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Kampground and where your dog will be staying in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Kampground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9Kampground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9Kampground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. As a patient, what do we want? To be cared for, to be listened to, and to have someone walk us through the process on our path to victory. Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics does all of those things beautifully, with Dr. Mark Petropoli leading the team on 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles, New York, located minutes from beautiful Skaneateles Lake. Whatever your injury may be from head to toe, preventative care, rehab, physical therapy, laser therapy, and surgery are all available at Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, where they care about us, they listen to us, and they understand that everyone's path to victory is a little bit different. Let them help you on yours by calling 315-685-7544 to make your appointment today. That's 315-685-7544. And find out more information at victorysportsmedicine.com.
Cafe Cabal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafecabal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Cabal needs. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating. Find them at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and all the time online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, you can order all throughout the country at maandpaspopcorn.com. And remember to get your tins, which have in-store half-price refills forever. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, available to you for fundraising and all of your events by calling 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
Witty Wicks Candles and Gift Shop, Township 5 Camillus, where you will find handcrafted all-natural soy wax candles over 60 cents to freshen up your home. We carry a wide range of locally made items, Salsa Q's, Syracuse Salt, and Chocolate Pizza Company, to name a few. Let our knowledgeable staff help choose unique gifts and keepsakes for any occasion. Gifts for family and friends, and maybe a little something for yourself. Witty Wicks Candles and Gift Shop, Township 5 Camillus.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Cabal Studios, 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street in Syracuse for Cafe Cabal, 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, and on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in North Syracuse. So make sure you head out there today and let them know that Wake Up Call sent you their way. With that being said, it's time for our Top Dog of the Week, proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. My top dogs of the week are the people that are fighting the good fight, right? That are out there giving all that they possibly can. My top dogs, Jimmer Sikowski, Jack Sikowski, the Knox family that just had Luke pass away, my guy Jeff Cook, who's been through a lot in his family. There's a lot of people out there that are fighting battles that nobody should have to. Right? People dying suddenly in their family, or going through disease, or going through something that doesn't have a cure right now. And God willing, they will. God willing, there will be a cure for cancers, for ALS, for AIDS, for COVID, for all this stuff. My top dogs are the people that have been faced with a very tough diagnosis, a tough phone call, right? Tom, with his son passing away, Matt. God bless you in heaven, Matt. To everybody that's going through something, we all got something. I honor you as my top dogs of the week because it doesn't always make sense. It shakes our faith. We don't get it. But again, trying is doing. Trying is winning. Because when you try, when you give everything you can, that's when you have the opportunity to change the world for the better. And I have one of my closest friends fighting a disease that has no cure at the moment. And he's a better person today than he was when I met him. And when I met him, he was great. He's a stronger person today, more in his faith today, and smiles more today. And that doesn't mean he doesn't have rough moments. Doesn't mean he's perfect. Nobody is. But I think he's helping even more people today than he did 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, he was helping a lot of people. So, what I can tell you about your life is, going back to lead, if you only live a few of those grains of sand that are in your hourglass, did you really live? Don't wait for someone to pass away to start living. You know, people say, oh, I wish I told this person when they were alive that I love them. I wish I said this when I... No, don't do that. Say it now. If you love somebody, call them up, tell them. If you want to ask somebody out, ask somebody out. If you want to get a job, you know, try to get a job there. If you want to change around the house, change around the house. You want to clean something out, clean something out. You want to take your dog for a walk, take your dog for a walk. Because there may be a day where you can't do the thing that you want to do. There may be a day where you can't walk. There may be a day where you can't go out there. There may be a day when you can't remember that. There may be a day where someone passed away and you can't go get coffee. Don't be the person that says, I wish I did this. I could have done this. Don't wait for tragedy. Don't wait for trauma. Don't wait for a diagnosis. Don't wait for a disease. Don't wait for a death to start living. Live now. Every day. Every day. So my top dogs, they're the people that never give up, that never quit. The most beautiful souls that I know. And Mom, you know you're one of them. You deserve the best. There is no one more beautiful inside and out than my mother. You have so much to offer this world. You are uniquely you. And no one can ever take that beauty from you, inside or out. And shame on anybody that tried. But they're not going to succeed because you're an awesome person. My top dogs of the week are the people that I know, the business owners I know that never gave up. The people fighting disease that won't give up. The loved ones of those people that won't give up. It's not easy to live. It's not easy to be alive, but it's so worth it if you get the right people around you and you have that faith in God, because I don't know how people can live life without it. And we all have the same God, whichever one you believe in. It's the same. I promise you that. There's one, right? And no matter what, and even if you're Buddhist and you separate it into a bunch, is our God not the God of light and the God of air and the God of earth and the God of wind? When they separate them all up, but our God is the God of all those things. We're not as different as we're told that we are. And my top dogs of the week are, if you woke up today and you got out of bed and you're crying and you're sad and you're upset, you're going through a breakup, you lost your job, you lost your house, you don't have money to pay your bills. You got a diagnosis, it's curable, it's not curable. You don't know what's wrong with you, but you know something's wrong. You lost a friend, you had somebody pass away. Your parents aren't here, you never had parents. If you got up this morning and you faced something so difficult, but you got out of bed, you're my top dog. Because it's my get out of bedders, my doers, my triers, my wake up and give it all I got. My I'm going to cry in my car, but when I get to work, I'm going to wipe my tears and do my job. You're my people. You're my people. We are all God's children. We are all dealing with something. And we are all better off getting out of bed than laying in that bed and not moving. Even the people that are laying in that bed, that are fighters, they'll find a way to make laying in that bed the best decision that they could ever make. And make it count. So my top dogs of the week, my people that are making every day count, making the moments count, giving it all they have, not expecting themselves to be perfect, just asking themselves to try. You're my top dogs because you give it all you got. You give it all you got. Even when you got nothing left to give, you give it. You're my top dogs. And I love each and every single one of you dearly. Don't ever stop trying. Don't ever give up. Don't ever stop believing in yourself. Don't ever stop believing in yourself. Don't ever stop believing in yourself. Ever. My top dogs of the week are my people that got up this morning no matter how hard it was to. Physically, emotionally, socially, economically, spiritually, whatever, or a combination. The people that got up today when it was hard to get up today, but you got up today. Even if you needed help, you got up today. And I love you for that. Don't ever stop getting up. Don't ever stop loving yourself. My top dogs of the week, proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, the place to bring your dog for short and long-term care in East Syracuse, 228 Old Bridge Street for the daycare and 242 Johnson Street for the campground. If you want to call the daycare, 315-437-7110, 315-437-7110, and if you want to call the campground, 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013 for longer care for your pup in the dog boarding opportunity at Canine Kampground. Don't wait to call. They do fill up quick, so call and make sure you call today. Let them know the wake-up call sent you. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. We'll come back with our Pacer Pride featuring Brendan Murphy that you do not want to miss. Marywood University has meant a lot to the both of us, and we share that with you from our heart in just a moment here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville beats. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our
corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios, hanging out with you, 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, New York, inside of their double-decker cafe on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, and on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in North Syracuse for their drive-through location. You all know that every single Friday to round out the week around 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we bring you Pacer Pride. And Pacer Pride gives us the opportunity to speak with student athletes as well as coaches, administration, and alumni, and potentially down the road as well, future Pacers here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora as we support Marywood University in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership. So with that being said, you see that my screen is shared, and the person that is joining me here is someone who has joined me many a times, and that's Mr. Brendan Murphy, a graduate of Marywood University for Comm Arts and somebody who loves that sports world so very much, connected to golf and baseball. And so we are here today to talk about our education at Marywood as well as to talk about Major League Baseball, which we spent a lot of time with this week, and rightly so. Brendan, how we doing?
Great, Dan. I appreciate you having me come back on. Always a good time.
Yeah, man. So, first and foremost, we got an education from Marywood University in Comm Arts. What brought you to Marywood? What made you feel like that was the right fit for you?
Well, it was kind of a combination of things. You had, when I was going through college choices, to be honest with you, I didn't even want to go to the Marywood one. I had seen East Stroudsburg University and loved it. I knew the baseball coach there. And I felt pretty good that I could walk on and play at ESU. Hindsight, that's probably wouldn't have been the case, but so then they dragged me up there on a Saturday morning to the open house where they had the instant acceptance thing. We start walking around the campus, and I'm like, wow, this is pretty nice. Then they take us downstairs to the still not used yet brand new Comm Arts facility.
Yeah.
And we see the new TV studio. We see all the editing suites. We see all the classrooms and everything. And I was just blown away. And prior to that, I had spoken with the baseball coach after the open house. We went and saw, they had a game that day. So we went to go see the game. A couple of my future teammates had a couple of good games. I know Billy Chonka had a pretty good day that day, if I remember correctly. One of my best friends now. But it was it was cool to see. And then I went to a showcase at the University of Scranton, and the Marywood coach was there. I didn't get to see him because he couldn't stay for very long, but we were talking to each other before and afterwards. All he said was he stayed for the defensive drills and loved how quick I was, loved how solid defensively that I was, and didn't even need to see me hit. He flat out said, yeah, there's a spot for you here. Unfortunately, he would have to step down. I believe it was due to medical reasons midway through that season. Yeah. So I never got to play for him. But, going in, Coach Thiel, it was pretty similar philosophy. Wanted to get good defense out there and wreak havoc on the bases. And I was basically the designated pinch runner that year. So my freshman year, so it kind of, it came full circle.
Yeah, it all worked out, and it's funny how things are, because when I got the letter from Marywood, I had gotten a bunch of letters from a bunch of different schools, and when I was at Christian Brothers Academy, they got the Marywood letter, and they said, well, we need to look into this. They said we have over 200 schools in our, in our wheelhouse, in our library, and information on them and whatever. And they said, but Marywood's not one of them. We need to make sure this is legit, is what they said, because they didn't even have Marywood in their inventory. And they checked it. They're like, no, this is legit, and this and that. And Teresa Quilty, the counselor, she seemed to kind of like smile. I think I remember her just kind of being like, no, like, yeah, and I went and I visited, and I don't know what it was about Marywood that I was like, oh, let's go. But I said to because my parents didn't want me to go that far. And it's 2 hours south, almost in a straight line from Syracuse on 81. You get on 81 right by where I grew up. You get off 81 at 188 and you go around the corner. I mean, it's right there.
Yep.
Simple. I remember like dating and stuff. It's like, how am I supposed to come to see you? I'm like, you get on the highway, and you drive straight, and then you get off the highway. So like very easy. So we went over. I went with my dad, and Jay Hammerin was there. May he rest in peace. And I went in and I spoke to the receptionist that was there. Sweet, awesome, just nice lady. And then he came out and he says, you must be Dan Tortora. And he puts his hand out. And I was like, I looked at my dad like, yeah. I didn't think that anybody would personalize it. I thought they'd be like, oh, okay, you're here to see campus. We'll walk you around. And so he brought me around and was talking to my dad, talking to me, and it was just us. And it was really quiet. And there was something about Jay, and I trusted him. And I met with him and I talked with him, and I said, listen, I don't want to just do comm arts. I don't want to just have like a specific major. I want to work in a lot of different areas, because I want to get a feel for everything that I'm interested in, so that I'm ready when I go out into the real world. And he said, as long as I'm here, I'll take care of that. I'll do anything I can to take care of that. And, and he did. And then he passed. And I look back on it, and I was actually called for the basketball team. Eric Grunman was the coach at the time. He said, how you doing? I said, good. My senior season, my coach, there was just a lot of stuff with the coach that we had there. And I get this phone call, and he was like, hey, how are you? Good. How are you? And we're talking about stuff. And he's like, I heard you can shoot. And I was like, I'm all right. You know what I mean? I'm not an ego person. I was like, I go out there, do the best I can. And I was like, how did you hear about me? Because I was playing CYO. I didn't play at my high school, and we did well as CYO, but I was like, I wasn't going to get any looks at all. And he said, I heard you can shoot. He said, I got eyes and ears everywhere. And
that sounds like that definitely sounds like Eric Grunman.
Yeah. So I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. He's like, come see us. And I, coming off that coach, I'm like, I don't really know if I want to. He's like, well, come to practice, meet the guys, run with us, see what you like. Even if you don't play this year, maybe next year. So similar to you, I didn't have Marywood on the list. Something, when I got that letter, something felt right. I went to visit. I loved the way I was treated by Jay Hammerin and Comm Arts. And then, I had that opportunity for basketball. And then lo and behold, I said, let me hold off right now, because I was bitter from the coach that I had. And I got called that November by Brandon Smith while I was doing laundry to come and fill in for the broadcast. And then MU Courtside was created from there. So you and I have kind of similar roads of, we weren't thinking about it, but then something felt right. And there was that sports and comm art side, and it just worked out.
Yeah. I mean, I was dead set on going to ESU, and that would have been so my high school, Notre Dame High School in East Stroudsburg, is literally, you have to drive through the East Stroudsburg University campus to get to it.
Yeah.
It's so I knew that school. I knew that campus. I've been there hundreds of times. I've been inside Kaler Fieldhouse. I've been out on the baseball fields. Oddly enough, now they built turf baseball fields over at Creekview Park, so they're really nice. But like I've been on that campus a lot. I've been to ESU basketball games. I knew people that play baseball there, that played basketball there, that played other sports at ESU. And I was dead set on going there until my mom dragged me out of the house to go to the Marywood open house, and the rest is history.
Yeah, and so we have that, that we went there. Now, hindsight 2020, what do you think about your decision to go to Marywood?
Wouldn't change a thing. Absolutely not change a thing. I met some of my best friends in the world. I loved my time playing baseball there for 2 years. Even though I wasn't playing after my sophomore year, I still was very close with the team. I covered the team for my junior and senior year because I had that access where I could just text one of my buddies like, "Yo, can you give me a quote real quick for a story?" And then they would take care of me. And then I always took care of them. I made sure I never wrote anything, like slanderous towards them. I wouldn't do anything that would make it sound like I'm trying to out to get them or anything. Cause we're Marywood paper. We're trying to talk up the school and everything. But I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, looking back at it, granted, I'm over 2 years out now. That's actually kind of mind blowing to me. I've been out of there for 2 years, and it's sad too, because I miss it for a multitude of reasons. But I miss doing basketball games every week during the winter. I miss being around everybody all the time. Like most of my best friends, a couple are down in Philly, a couple are out on Long Island. One just moved down to Virginia. And so it's a drive for me to get to any of them. So, it was that's the main reason, like all the good friends that I made and in the time in comm arts that I enjoyed a lot. Ernie and Kim doing everything they could to help me get out into the field. And while that hasn't really happened, I like where I'm at right now and I'm enjoying it. I haven't closed the door on trying to revive a broadcasting career, but for now I'm kind of focused on. So now I took a job recently. I'm working out at Golf Tech, so I'm teaching people how to play better golf. So if you're in the Lehigh Valley area and you need golf lessons, hit me up. Let me know. But right now I feel like I'm kind of just focused on getting the PGA card to become a PGA professional and kind of see where that takes me.
Yeah, man, there's cards available. Membership's been getting canceled like crazy. But
are they giving me $50 million or what?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's definitely a interesting world. I didn't know the PGA could be like, well, you're not playing in my sandbox, but it's definitely, like you said, it's where you meet your people. I mean, I look back on it and you say 2 years and I'm sitting here and this makes no sense to me. 36 years old. To me, I'm a kid. To me, I just got started. And at 36, I'm vibrant. I'm excited. I got my 3-year-old little kid spirit running around here. I'm the 17 or 18-year-old kid who came to Marywood. And then I'm like, I graduated 15 years ago. Like 15 years ago. And it's 2007. It's crazy. But whenever something really good happens in my life or whenever something like adverse happens, recently I just went through something and I got phone calls. My buddy John, my buddy Mark, my buddy Steve. It's like we lived right by each other in Madonna Hall. And to this day, when push comes to shove and you need family and you need that love and that support and that, like, I got you. My graphic designer is John Grenquist. We lived 2 doors down from each other. So for my company, my graphic designer that made all my logos pristine, no matter what you put them on, how much you blow them up, he's incredible. He's done everything. Superpowered Pop, Wake Up Call, Dan on Disney's now Do Diz with Dan, Comic Book Trails, the main Dan Tortora broadcast media logo. Everything he's touched has been incredible. And Steve, I went to his wedding a few years ago. And Mark and I haven't talked in a minute. And the way that he ran and was there for me in a situation was amazing. And I look back on that. And Brandon, I was the best man at his wedding, Brandon Smith. And he single-handedly helped me start my career. So, what is Marywood? It's everything. It's my friends. It's where I started my professional career. It's where I learned about who I am. It's where I got out of my shell. It's where I was finally me, because I wasn't me in high school. I was quiet. I didn't like my experience in high school. So, to me, it means everything. And, we wouldn't be on the screen right now if it wasn't for Marywood. If it wasn't for Enrico Mastriani saying, you should talk to Brendan, the type of person you are, the type of kid he is, I feel like you guys could do something, you'd probably hit it off. And then you asked me, and he asked me to come back, or you asked me to come back and do MU courtside. I never thought I'd have the chance to do that again, because I built it, but it's student run. And so when I built it and I had to leave it in February 2007, I still feel that in my gut right now. Like, I want to cry about it. It hurt. It hurt to walk away. It hurt. And nobody will ever know how much I put in behind the scenes and what I had to go through just to get it to be there. Because there were people that didn't want it to be there. And then they took credit for it when I left. And so it was so hard. And I feel that in my stomach now. And I was like, God, I'm never going to get a chance to do this again. And I love it. And I would tell people, I smile every time I say it. I'm like, that's my first kid. MU courtside's my baby. And seeing all these years go by, and then you're like, hey, why don't you come back? And I did. I got emotional about it. And Brendan, I can never thank you enough. You will always, we have a great friendship, but you will always, always have a special place in my heart, because you gave me the opportunity to do that.
And it was my, excuse me, geez. It was my pleasure to bring you back up, man. I enjoyed it a lot. I know that particular year, I was doing a lot of the games myself, and that was never fun. So anytime getting anybody, let alone someone of your stature, to come back and be on the broadcast would be, that was huge. But as you were talking there, I was trying to go through and find my my final sign off that I did on my phone. I can't find it. I have it somewhere, but it was hard. I was getting choked up as I was signing off for that last time. I basically poured it out and told all the fans and the parents and everything and all the students that were watching, like, how much I appreciated them for just tuning in and watching me grow over the last 4 years. Because I know parents of the guys that were there since I was a freshman or since I was a sophomore would come up after games and talk to me and say how much they appreciate me bringing them the games, partially because it makes them more fun to watch, to have someone that there that's commentating that, that gives a crap and actually, cares and wants to see these teams succeed. Like, you saw it. I would get excited when we would when the teams would do well. I know I called a couple of buzzer beaters or game-winning shots in my tenure there, and a couple of them went the other way. And I tried to be unbiased, because that's the job. But at the same time, you could hear it in my voice that like, oh, and the Mighty Macs win it, or something like that. It was something that, it's something you have to do when you're covering a specific team. And, it was something that I enjoyed, and I would never trade it for the world.
It's funny that you said that you have that final sign off, because I have DVDs of a bunch of games that Mark Ruddy made for me. And Ernie, Ernie and Mark, I think they might have put a few together. And I have the last one, and I haven't watched it in a while, but I know without even seeing it, I know I didn't know how to say goodbye. I didn't want to say goodbye. And no matter what I said, it was like I wasn't getting there. I didn't have enough, like, there was no words for me to be like, y'all have a great time, like, this has been great, because I didn't want to leave. And that was so hard. And the funny thing is, when I have, if I'm, and I learned something in this world too, if I'm dating somebody, I have like a DVD little case that I'll bring with me, and I'll bring a bunch of movies, and I'll be like, hey, like, I'll watch your movies, but I want you to get to know about me. So I bring like a bunch of my favorites. That Marywood never leaves that case. It never leaves that case. And the right person for me someday, I'll want to watch it, because, you got other people, and you're like, hey, do you want, really? Do we have to? And I'm like, yeah, this is my life. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And I love those moments, but it was so hard, because I had somebody say that, do you remember your first and your last game, and what did you say? And I was like, man, for the last game, it just, my heart, I didn't know what to say, because I was like, I want to say I'll see you tomorrow. I want to say I'll see you next season. And you and I, we got to have a lot of fun doing this, because you love it and you care about it. And Brendan, and I'm going to try and not get choked up by saying this, knowing that you have loved it, and MU courtside, what it evolved into, what it's become, knowing that you loved it, knowing that you took care of it, knowing that you made it your own, knowing that you gave everything you could into it. And I saw that from day zero. Like, I cannot be more happier that the torch got to you and that you took it, because you have done such an incredible job that I wish we had the chance to do it together, so we could push each other, because you would have pushed me and I would have loved that. And I can't thank you enough for that.
Of course. I mean, and there was actually a piece of the deciding on Marywood story that I had left out, and you just reminded me of it. And it was when we were down in the studio talking about Kamp. They mentioned something about basketball, and that no one really broadcasts the games. So I was like, that's me. That's literally what I want to do. So I went in, they won. I'm trying to remember how I went about that, because I was freaking nervous, man. I was so nervous going into that first game. The first game was the women's game. I can't for the life of me remember who they played, but it was a doubleheader. But the women went out and won. Men's team lost, I think, because I think that was their main rebuilding year while I was there. So they weren't so good my freshman year. But I mean, they had a lot of good players. It was just some older guys that had just kind of joined the team and just wanted to play for their senior year or their graduate year. Tip was still a young kid. Jeremy was still only in his second year playing. So that was kind of how that was, and I was so nervous. And then I remember going into that last doubleheader. I treated it like it was any other day. I mean, I had a couple people coming up to me and wishing me luck in the future, and knowing that this was the last game that I was going to be doing, because I kind of led up to that in the broadcast before that, knowing that was going to be the last game I did.
Yeah.
Looking back, we ended up having a men's playoff game that I couldn't be a part of.
Yeah.
We still ran cameras. We still at least produced the game. But I unfortunately couldn't be there, and I couldn't get other announcers to do it. So, because we were filming a segment for Beyond the Arch that we couldn't reschedule. So I didn't have a choice but to end up over there. Looking back, I kind of wish I blew that part off to do the last game. But at the same time, I don't know if the sign off would have been the same, because I had already given that heartfelt sign off the game before, and I don't know if I could have gotten back behind the mic for one more after that. But you know, that was it's all part of the journey. You know, it's all part of the way we get to where we want to be. Oddly enough, less than a month later, we were all off campus and never went back. Because as some of you know, I graduated right at the beginning of the pandemic. So June of 2020. Still never had a graduation ceremony. Not going to lie, I don't mind that because I didn't feel like sitting through the 4-hour ceremony, especially since I'm not winning any awards or anything. So I was perfectly happy just sitting at home and watching the virtual graduation that they did in August.
Yeah.
But I think my cap and gown are still sitting. Yeah, they're right here.
Yeah, I remember.
At least my cap. It's hanging out right here, and then I have my hat. I don't even know what the heck this thing's called. Well, isn't the tassel the thing on the top?
Yeah, so you got
this is the one that you wear around your neck for this is for the
my sash,
Society for Collegiate Journalists. That's it.
Yeah, so I had some. Yeah, I had those. I think it's. I hope I still have my cap and gown because I let somebody borrow it for their graduation because they didn't want to pay for one. I'm like, but you're not going to have a cap and gown, like, you know, that's kind of sad. But
I've still never worn mine. I've still never worn it.
That's crazy.
My mom eventually wants graduation pictures. I told her I have no problem with that, but we'll go up to Marywood. We'll go up to school for that. We'll do that one day during the summer. We'll go take pictures up there, and then that's it.
Yeah.
I'm not really the type that gets excited for that type of thing. Like my high school graduation, I had broken wrist, and oddly enough, when I shook the bishop's hand to get my diploma, since I actually had a prior relationship with him, he goes to me, "What the heck did you do now?" I'm like, I broke my wrist playing baseball. He literally looks at me and he goes, "Dummy." And this is the bishop of the Diocese of Scranton saying this.
Yeah.
But like I said, I had a prior relationship with him. His sister was my elementary school librarian, and he knew who I was, and we had conversations together.
Yeah.
I just thought that was a funny little tidbit that I've always had in there.
Yeah, I mean, I'll never forget graduation day. It was hot, it was sunny, it was beautiful, and it was at what was the Wachovia Arena in Wilkes-Barre, and I got to sit next to one of my buddies, Patrick Tindana, shout out to Patrick, and from Ghana. And so we were sitting next to each other. It was funny because it was full circle, because on my left there was supposed to be a girl sitting there who was the first girl I dated, and I dated her going into Marywood, and that was not a good experience. She never showed up for graduation. So that seat next to me was open. And then Patrick, we became friends. We lived next door to each other. And in Madonna Hall, he was on my left side. And him and I were friends pretty much the whole way through. So it was funny how that worked out, where it was like on my left was the past to leave, and on my right was like, here's your future.
Yeah.
And so it was so interesting. It was unique. And then, you know, walking across the stage and stuff. But I will always remember, and I have the pictures, and I have some pictures that are framed and put around my house, is that my grandmothers were both there. My parents were there. And my cousins, Nico and Miguel, were there. My Aunt Donna, my Aunt Ev were there. And so, like, the people that were always in my corner, they were there. And that, to me, was a really beautiful thing. And I'll never forget what my dad said that day. We went out to eat on Montage Mountain, and we were at a restaurant by one of the hotels across from Cinemark. And they brought me the cake, and I was sitting all the way at the end, and the cake was there. And my dad looked at me And he said, now, before you cut that, I need to tell you something about what it says. He said, when I went to school, you know, he said he had to pay for his education, and my dad worked like 3 jobs and all this stuff, and he, you know, went to law school. He said, when I graduated, I grabbed your grandfather and I hugged him and I said, Dad, we did it. And he said, no, you did it. And so the cake, my dad took his conversation with my grandfather, who passed when I was 6 in 92, and he wrote on the cake, you did it, with an exclamation point. And I'll never forget that. So
yeah, that's a cool little gesture.
Yeah. So So I mean, Marywood has been connected to so many amazing things in my life, and I'm using my education, you know, so every day. So, you know, and it's in here in the studio, right over, right in front of me here. It's like the first thing I've hung in every studio I've ever had is that I come in and I hang my Marywood diploma. And so, and it's right here. I mean, it's right. And anywhere anybody's ever gone, it's right there. And we got, like, my dad, we got a really, really nice frame. It's got like the coin there and everything set up. It's one of the things, you know what people always say, what would you grab if you were running out of a burning building? And I never have an answer except for 2 things, which is my grandfather's Navy hat and my other grandfather's forklift that was in his retirement cake thing, the toy that he gave me. Those 2 I would grab, and I'd probably run out with this diploma. So, you know,
that's one of mine. That's that's the jersey that I was wearing when I got my first college hit. RBI double against Cairn. We were getting blown out. I get in the game. It's my 3rd collegiate at bat, and I got a fastball middle away, and I hit a missile to right center. A pitcher who had a chance to hit was on second, so he scores. I slid into second, just, you know, felt on top of the world. Because I felt like all fall, the previous fall, I couldn't hit a thing. I couldn't hit water if I fell out of a boat. I think part of it was due to, in part, of me still rehabbing my wrist and coming back from that injury. And everyone was saying, like, oh, like, bro, you're not getting any hits. Like, you're terrible. I'm like, just wait till the spring. That's what I literally said. Just wait till the spring. And then 3rd at bat, RBI double. Oddly enough, I had one of the worst caught stealings or pickoffs that those guys had ever seen. 2 pitches later, but because I was trying to get a jump on the pitcher and steal third and make something happen, because like at that point I still wasn't playing very much, so I just wanted to get in and make something happen. Yeah, I made something happen, all right. But I mean, ask any of the guys that I played with; they'll all tell you about that. And they'll be like, "Jesus, man, how stupid was he?" But now we just look back and joke about it. But I will always take I can safely say I'll take to my grave 308 lifetime hitter in college. Better than 85% of professional baseball players. So that is why that would probably be coming with me.
As it should. You know, and it's awesome. And that's a beautiful thing. And I mean, we have stuff like that. I know whichever angle I use in my studio, that Marywood pennant is always there. It has to be. There has to be some representation of Marywood. And off to the side here was this past season's men's basketball schedule. You know, it's and I have a letter from the team. Actually, yeah, it's right here. I have a letter from the team that I kept here, and it's signed by all the guys, signed by everybody on the team. We got Tip, DeGory, Jeremy, all the guys here. And it says, "Dear Dan, we can't thank you enough for your continued support of our men's basketball program. As one of our most valued alumni at Marywood University, we are extremely proud to call you our friend in athletics and especially to our program. Thank you for your patience while anticipating this delivery. Remember, good things come to those who wait. go Pacers and God bless. And this is when Enrico sent me a bunch of gear, and he sent me and Stella, and I got to shout her out, Gabby Holko over at Susquehanna, and they call it SU, and I'm like, come on now. But yeah, she
you already know the real SU.
And so she sent me my second favorite Marywood sweatshirt, which is black and white Marywood Pacers basketball sweatshirt, which I love dearly. But my favorite Marywood sweatshirt, my favorite, like I'm okay with like my wife someday giving birth with the sweatshirt on. You know what I mean? Like it's my blue Marywood University, and it made no sense because it's like we're green, you know, it's green, yellow, and white, or green, gold, and white, however people want to see it. But this was a blue, and I was like, why is this here? It is the most comfortable sweatshirt ever, and I've worn it for a million years. And it's the one thing that, like, when somebody is like hanging out with you, dating you, whatever, and they wear your sweatshirt, that's one thing that I will go to the ends of the earth to get back. So I was like, you cannot wear this sweat. Why? I'm like, because if anything happens, you can't leave my presence with that on. So my two favorite sweatshirts are Marywood sweatshirts, and yeah, I feel very, very blessed to have them. And Enrico has done so much for me. He brought me back. He's the reason why, you know, I wanted to always be connected. He's why it happened. He's a huge reason why it happened. He's how we met. So I want to shout him out. Before I let you go, I promised we would talk in Pacer Pride about a little bit of baseball. So we'll spend a couple of minutes here. I got to talk about this dude. I have gone out to see the Syracuse Mets. I don't know if you've been to our arena, to our beautiful stadium. It's insanely professionally put together. I was blown away because I hadn't been in a minute. And I sat there with my dad, and we got to watch the Syracuse Mets, which always made sense to me because orange and blue Syracuse, orange and blue Mets, it was like a perfect pairing. So finally became the Mets, and DeGrom's come through here recently. And I had a really cool story about farm system to the pros that I get a message, hey, you know, from Debbie Edmondson. She's like, if you make sure you show some love and, you know, let them know that a close family friend, Brett Beatty, let them know that, you know, we love him. We care about him, you know, that we're here rooting it for him. Went out to a game, saw him play this past Sunday. A couple days later, he gets called up, bangs a home run.
Yeah,
and I was like,
first pitch he swings at.
I was like, I just watched him at bat. So let's get into your Mets this season. And I'd love to get your thoughts, being a baseball player, on the farm system and what you think about the art of really loving the game to go through all of those levels to get to the opportunity, the slim chance of becoming a professional.
Well, I'll start with the farm system part because I don't want to forget this point. There is a guy, and I can't remember his name, with the Rockies that just recently came up to the big leagues for the first time after playing, I think it was 12 years in the minors and having never gotten to the majors. Seeing stories like that is really cool. You know, like seeing stories of like career minor leaguers that finally get to come up and make their big league debuts. More often than not, they don't really amount to much in the major leagues, but you know, they've been working their butts off their whole lives just to get there, and they finally do. And it's got to be, it's emotional for him. I mean, I remember seeing video of the guy, and he was, you know, he got a little emotional when he got the call.
Yeah,
I tell you what, I love watching the videos where the manager's telling the player that they're going to the big leagues. Like I remember seeing the one for Julio Rodriguez. I remember seeing the one. There was one where they were in the clubhouse, and it was a Mets guy, and it was Sam Haggerty had never been to the big leagues yet, and they were talking about September call-ups. And then the manager tells everybody, and the team goes nuts. But oh, geez, I was trying to hold that in. I'm sorry.
All right, I've sneezed on the ear more in the last 2 years than I did my entire life, and I don't know why God keeps letting that happen.
we need the cough button.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he gets the call, the team goes nuts. I've always loved that. And I got a couple of people that I know that are in the minor leagues, and One in particular who's playing in Double A for the Marlins is named Zach McCambly. He's playing with Double A Pensacola for the Marlins, and he's been pitching fairly well. I mean, having a down year compared to what he was having last year.
Yeah.
But getting better. And I always reach out to him after he makes a good start. I'm like, hey man, like I'm rooting for you. Like I'm hoping one day you get all the way up to the big leagues, and I have no doubt in my mind that he will, especially with how well the Marlins develop pitching. But I think it all comes down to organizational philosophy. With farm systems, like we saw the San Diego Padres at the deadline basically wipe their farm system dry.
Yeah.
But it was all guys that they had drafted, that they had signed, that they had developed. And now half of them are in Washington and half of them are in Milwaukee. I know CJ Abrams has just got called back up to Nationals, so he's playing for them. Mackenzie Gore, I think might be hurt, which could be part of the reason why he's not playing with the Nationals right now. And then they sent a few guys over to Milwaukee when they got Josh Hader. It's those are the guys they drafted and developed. And that's what's crazy about the Mets recently. And since they got rid of Brody Van Wagenen, thank goodness, they have kept a lot of their young players and haven't really tried to, trade everybody to get a championship. And I'm almost glad that Billy Epler didn't go crazy at the deadline. I mean, yeah, Juan Soto would have been great. I would have given up the entire farm system for him, but the Nationals weren't trading him in the division. I completely understand that. I wasn't expecting him to come to the Mets. I mean, one can dream, but I mean, I knew damn well it wasn't happening. But the little moves that they made with Daniel Vogelback and why is his name Darren Ruff and Tyler Naquin going and grabbing Michael Gibbons, even though he's kind of struggled a little bit in his Mets tenure, they made these really small and valuable moves to improve their team. Like their goal going into the deadline was to get some bullpen help, which they probably didn't fully accomplish that goal, but they did add a piece. They wanted to upgrade the DH platoon, which they did. So JD got shipped out to San Francisco in the Darren Ruff deal, and Dom is in AAA right now. So if you go to a Syracuse Mets game, you'll get to go see Dom Smith and Francisco Alvarez and a bunch of other guys on that team.
Yeah.
I have not been to that stadium. I know they renovated it since the Mets took ownership of the team, and I've seen pictures and it looks beautiful. I mean, I'm spoiled. I get to go to Coca-Cola Park and PNC Field all the time, the home of the AAA Yankees and Phillies, and those parks are gorgeous. Like they just re-renovated PNC Field maybe 7-8 years ago, and it was falling apart before they did that. And they spent a season. They renovated it. The Rail Riders played on the road all the time.
Yeah,
and it looks gorgeous now. But I'm looking at a team right now that, as we sit here, just lost 3 out of 4 to the Braves. But I mean, you kind of knew that. I mean, after last week, the Mets taking 4 out of 5 at Citi Field, that the Braves were gonna mark their calendars and they were gonna want to play hard in that series. And I don't think it's that the Mets didn't play hard. I think part of it is just, the Braves just wanted it more. I mean, they beat Jacob deGrom. They dropped 13 runs on the Mets in the first game of the series on Monday. It didn't help that Carrasco and Walker both had to come out after 2 innings in the first 2 games of the series, so the bullpen was drained. It was basically the exact opposite of what happened in New York. Mets got to the Braves bullpen early in the first couple games of the series. Bullpen was gassed by the end of the series. The same thing happened here. So now going into Philly this weekend, they got their work cut out for them. They got to take a series against Philly if they want to make sure that they still have a good division lead.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great to see what the Mets have done this year, and it's been great to see what the Yankees have done. And now the Astros are rising, the Dodgers are rising. And I find it interesting, and we've talked about it this week, that the East divisions of both leagues, if it happened today, are commanding. They account for 50% of the American League playoff teams and 50% of the National League teams, because it would be Yankees, Blue Jays, Rays on one side for the AL, and then in the NL, it would be Phillies, Braves, Mets. So, these divisions have really been pushing like crazy to earn these spots, earn the keep in the expanded playoff of 12 teams. And I want to see a Subway Series.
I don't think it's going to happen this year, especially with how much the Yankees have been struggling right now.
Well, that's the thing. And the Astros, the way that they're playing right now, the way that the Dodgers obviously come up and remind people like, hey, we're here. But I'm excited to see what can happen. And I really want, if they don't get there, to get deep, Yankees and Mets. And the Mets have been so much fun to watch. It's been so exciting to see it here in the community, and to see Brett. And then 2 days later, it'd be like, oh, okay. All right. Good for, you know what I mean? It's like, it's that instantaneous, and it really makes you think, like, for a couple bucks, you go to the ballpark, you get an autograph on a baseball, and then everybody's like, you got Brett's autograph. You know what I mean? It's insane what can happen. And I love that it's in the backyard. And that's what I love about the farm system, is that it's right there.
That's all those, by the way. Let's see. Mike Piazza's at the top. I did not get that ball signed. I bought it. Spoiler alert. But every other ball there, except for one, I personally had them signed.
I got a Grad.
So let's see. I got Pete Rose up there, Cal Ripken, Austin Meadows, Michael Conforto, Noah Syndergaard, Chris Sale, Tyler Clippard, Howard Johnson, Jesse Orozco. The one I did not personally get signed was Dwight Gooden. I won that ball in a raffle. J.P. Crawford, Curtis Granderson, and then Mookie Wilson. That one, actually, my mom got signed for me.
So I got this one in a giveaway. It was a raffle that we had for Child Advocacy Center. And it's the Goose. Goose Gossage. So I got the Goose here. 2008 was signed here, and signed right on the ball, with it coming right down there to the
right on the sweet spot.
Yeah. So yeah, I do have this one. I have some other ones. I have a baseball, and the thing that's crazy is it's the first baseball I remember having signed. I don't know who signed it, because we went to go see the Florida Marlins, and they had screwed up on the schedule. So we go all the way to the arena, and we go all the way to the stadium, and the Marlins were on the road. I was a kid. We were with my Uncle Bill, my Aunt Maureen, my cousins, my dad, my mom, and we're down in Florida, and they're like, well, the Manatees are playing tonight. So we stuck around for the Manatees, and then they I got a foul ball from them that they hit up into the stands, and all these kids ran up looking for it, and something told me to like walk down, and I just went like that, and it was nestled sitting right behind one of the seats, and nobody was around me, and I just kind of picked it up, and I was like, is this what everybody's looking for? Like, it's right there. So, and there was nobody there. And then I remember I got a ball sign, and I had it growing up. It was like right over my bed on a shelf forever and a day. I can't tell you who signed it, because I went down and I just handed it, and like everybody, all the players were signing it, and I didn't know who they were at the time, and the ball's got a ton of signatures on it. So I might have to investigate it someday. But yeah, man, there's nothing like, listen, as I get older, I'm starting to fall in love with baseball, and it's coming at a time where I just love sitting there, and I love watching it and breathing it in. And I'm excited for what's going to happen this postseason, and I'm definitely going to enjoy my Syracuse Mets while I have the opportunity to do so.
I'll tell you what, man, it's really cool to see the future stars of baseball come through the minor leagues. Like, I've seen Aaron Judge in the minor leagues. I've seen Aaron Nola in the minor leagues. I've seen Clint Frazier in the minor leagues. I got to see Will Myers when he was in the minor leagues. I saw rehab assignment by Jason Giambi back in the day. That was actually after he got popped for steroids.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, it was a double header. Only time he went into the clubhouse was when they made him come in and like change quick into the other uniform and then come back out. He stayed out in between games and signed autographs for kids for probably a good half an hour. That was one of the coolest things I think I'd ever seen. I wish I was down there and would have gotten them, but Derek Jeter's been through there. I saw Ryan Howard on a rehab assignment when he was with the Phillies. Lots of different major leaguers that I've gotten to see.
Yeah. Well, that ballpark you talked about, Scranton Wilkes-Barre Yankees, they were the Phillies before.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a bunch of players, like 3 to 5 of the players, like big players, come through that won a World Series with the Phillies. And I got to see the Yankees, come through. And I'm sitting there going and Ross would always say to me, Ross Turetsky, also Marywood grad, also Kamp, and also baseball. He was like, you never know who you're going to see, Dan. Like, you come out to these games, you never know who you're going to see. I remember seeing the Phillies going, well, I saw I saw Ryan Howard. And then I'm naming off all these guys, and I'm like, I saw him for like $8.
Mm-hmm. You know who else I saw when I was up there? That guy. When he was playing baseball.
Timmy Tebow, yeah.
Yeah, and I got that jersey signed too. That was the whole purpose of going to that game was to get that jersey signed. I think I left in like the 5th inning just because I had something to do the next day. So I didn't feel like staying that late. But the entire goal of that was go see Tim Tebow. Go.
How'd you do it?
I went down to the field. So I went down to the field before the game. He was signing autographs. I grabbed I had a silver Sharpie because I wanted it to pop better because you really can't see the signature on there. You got to really look close because it's in black. And he giggled a little bit when he saw the jersey. And I said to him, like, man, you're the whole reason I became a Florida Gator fan. Like, it's all because of you. And he's like, yeah, that's pretty cool, man. It's like, I mean, hey, like, go down to a game one day. Maybe I'll see you. So, I mean, that was pretty cool. So the brief conversation I had with Tim Tebow, just as much as advertised, as nice and humble as advertised. But everybody loved him. It was cool to watch him play. I got to see him in spring training when we were down in Florida for baseball my freshman year. I got to see him play. He got a couple hits that day too, which was crazy.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I love getting to see like the minor league guys come up, and like a lot of the autographs that I've gotten were guys when they were in the minor leagues. Like I think I have a couple more over there. Like I got Austin Meadows when he was in the minor leagues. Oh shoot, what's that one? Oh, you know what? That one was Aaron Judge. I got that from my buddy because I ended up getting a Noah Syndergaard ball from him, or I ended up getting it and he didn't. I guess Noah was kind of skipping down the line.
Yeah.
And when he moved to Florida, I gave it to him and told him, like, dude, like, this is yours. Like, you deserve this. And he gave me the Aaron Judge ball because he got it signed when he was when he went to see the Tampa Yankees.
No big deal. Oh, what's that ball that I signed? Oh, it's Aaron Judge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I just casually got one. Pete Rose, Aaron Judge, Cal Ripken Jr. Yeah. MVP this year.
The crazy millions and millions of dollars that man's going to get paid. So, and the longer the Yankees wait, the more that price ticket goes up. But whatever, man. Steinbrenner, the old George, would have signed that man 87 days ago. But it's crazy. It's crazy. It doesn't make no sense. But with that being said, Brendan Murphy here on a special edition of Pacer Pride in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Marywood University. 2 ComArts grads here sharing the screen with you, letting you know that if you're considering your collegiate future, that Marywood University is a fantastic place and very advantageous for those in ComArts to give yourself an opportunity. Brendan went into Marywood University, and that road was there for him to pave. Same for me. It's an amazing place that has the opportunity to let you be who you exactly want to be and get the experience that you want to make you ready for what's coming. So we can't thank Marywood enough, and we are 2 people that will definitely be a spokespeople for the Marywood ComArts department if and when need be. So Brendan, as always, thank you for everything. I never know how to sign off because I love our talks, but I look forward to talking with you soon.
Likewise, Dan. Appreciate you having me on again.
Pride on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. Always appreciate having Brendan on the show, and gets talking about Marywood and our education and, you know, the importance of that, the greatness of that, and how important it is to build up the comm arts department that have done so much for Brendan and I and given us experience at Marywood University. Fantastic education, fantastic place, fantastic campus. As much as it's 4 minutes outside of the city of Scranton, it feels like we're in a place all by ourselves. It's quiet. It's surrounded by a really nice community, good people, fantastic. It feels like we have our own little nook of the world, little cranny of the world to ourselves. So great campus, great, you know, arboretum, which if you don't know that, just like trees and the foliage, beautiful. People come on the campus just to see it, take walks on the campus, bring the dog. The facilities have only grown and blossomed. In the 4 years I was there, they started to build and then they just kept building. And we got a new chapel, we got the new, you know, athletic building with a new gym, and they're consistently working on the field and the courts and putting, you know, new signs up for the Pacers and all this stuff, and new residence halls. So definitely in the new comm arts building, the one that Brendan's talking about, I had a different comm arts building, so he got to be in the new one, and they actually demolished the old one, built a new one, and it's huge, fantastic. So definitely, if you're interested in communication arts, you know, digital media, broadcasting, screenwriting, producing, direct, any of that stuff, then you should definitely give Marywood a shot. Definitely go to campus, and definitely when it comes to experiences and being able to try and walk onto a team and get an opportunity, there are so many countless opportunities and experiences at Marywood that I implore you to give them a shot, because I think you would regret it if you didn't. So with that being said, I want to thank you for being a part of the show today. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, youtube.com, facebook.com, and mixlr.com, all /WakeUpCallDT, as well as on wakeupcalldt.com and on facebook.com /LiveNowDT. Also want to give a shout out to all the places you can find us: Amazon Music, Audible, iHeart, iTunes and Apple Podcasts, MixLR, TuneIn, Podbean, Podvine, Player FM, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube. Search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Big thanks to our Central and Upstate New York partners and beyond: Cafe Kubal, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, PB&J's Lunchbox, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Avicoli's, Mon Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, Pizza Man, Honda City of Liverpool, Witty Wicks, Chick-fil-A Cicero, and Chick-fil-A Clay, Victory Sports Medicine Orthopedics, Mother's Cupboard, and of course, we are the proud exclusive multimedia marketing partner. Lemoyne College Dolphins, it's fins up all day, day, and you can find Dolphins during Dolphin Time every Wednesday, including next week. We will air it at 9 a.m. on Wednesday, despite the fact that we have Hooters Week. We are going to still be airing our Wednesday at 9 a.m. special with the Dolphins, so I already got you set and prepared. We planned ahead. So Dolphin Dive Wednesdays, first and third Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. We have AD and DT with Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora. Every second and fourth Wednesday, coming up this coming Wednesday, Dolphin Dive with student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni. Check out all of our content on the Lemoyne tab on wakeupcalldt.com. Subscribe to us on youtube.com /wakeupcalldt. And for more information on your Lemoyne College Dolphins, go to lemoynedolphins.com. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is also the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Marywood University Pacers. You just watched a new Pacer Pride with Brendan Murphy and myself, Dan Tortora, comm arts majors who jumped into the sports world and the broadcasting world while we were at Marywood University. You can check out all of our content with Marywood by going to the Marywood tab on wakeupcalldt.com. Subscribe to youtube.com /wakeupcalldt. And of course, with the Marywood Pacers, student athletes, alumni, as well as coaches and administration of Marywood have all graced the stage. We look forward to everything we're going to be able to do with Marywood in the future to give them a spotlight they've never had before. Head to marywoodpacers.com for more information. The Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are also proud multimedia marketing partners here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Big shout out to the Bobcats, exclusive multimedia marketing partner, Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse. We've done a ton of exclusives at PB&J's Lunchbox, on campus at Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse, on James Street in Syracuse, New York. We've done them at Mother's Cupboard as well, and at Cafe Kubal. The Bobcat Buzz comes to you every single month. Get all of our content with the Bobcats by subscribing to wakeupcalldt.com. Bookmark the BSCSYR tab. And, of course, go to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt and subscribe. For more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I want to thank Carvel DeWitt for the annoying moment of the week, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay for trying is winning, the focus today in LEAD, which stands for Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver. Top dog of the week, all my people that get up in the morning no matter what's going on and believe in themselves. You are my top dogs. God bless you, and I appreciate you so much. Brought to you by K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding. And a big shout out to Brendan Murphy, our Pacer Pride guest, who is one of my good friends and an amazing human being, and I love you, brother. So, with all that being said, inside the Cafe Kubal Studios, we will see you soon. And remember, next week is Hooters Week. We're down at Hooters to preview the college and pro football seasons. We're going to be leading you into the college season all the way up to the doorstep, and we'll be leading you through the last preseason week of the NFL to bring you into the NFL season. One more time, let you know what's going on. Set the dial, get it ready. Noon to 2. We are changing our 9 to 11 time next week only from 12 to 2 p.m.
Hey everyone, it's Sydney from iDrive in Orlando. We can't wait to welcome Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on site at 8801 International Drive in Orlando. Broadcasting live Monday, August 22nd through Friday, August 26th during our lunch each day from noon to 2 p.m. Come see us girls, hear from Dan and his special guests, and preview the college and NFL seasons from the greatest seat for all sporting events. Hooters iDrive in Orlando.
We will see you at Hooters this coming week. If you're down in Central Florida, you're down in the Orlando area, come and see us at Hooters. We have fantastic guests all week long. You can check our social media for that at Wake Up Call DT on Facebook, at Call DT on Instagram, and at Wake Up Call _DT here on Instagram, at Call DT on Twitter. At Wake Up Call _DT on Instagram. So come out and see us. Definitely come down, check it out. Noon to 2 p.m. We're there all throughout your lunch break, Monday, August 22nd through Friday, August 26th. We have fantastic guests set up, of course, the Hooters girls, and we're going to have a great time. So can't wait to see you. Much love to everybody out there. Stay safe and stay well. And as always, God bless, no stress, do your best. We'll talk soon.